Hello, welcome to week 5 of the Irish Times Digital Challenge. Today, Brian Caulfield, the man behind the 50k convertible loan note prize with DFJ Espirit, is going to be in to meet the startups. And already, now that we're past the halfway mark, we're seeing that there's been an interesting reversal. On the one hand, PicTurk, who initially looked like they were the most interesting from a revenue perspective, are having some significant difficulties in making that revenue case.
Myself and Paul met with commercial, trying to get the answer, trying to get a yes. And we might have pushed a little bit too hard in that meeting at that point, and I think we got a pushback. So we feel now that putting together a proposal, a sponsorship proposal, and contact a sponsor that we know is a much better solution. Today we met Anna Scally from KPMG. It was very interesting. She had a lot of interesting facts for startups, specifically when it comes to tax.
How do you know what VAT applies? How often do you have to fill in VAT returns? What happens when you're doing business abroad? And obviously most of the companies here, there's only a finite market here in Ireland, they're going to have to do business abroad. And that brings with it a number of challenges. Part of the prize is obviously a significant convertible loan note, which would be provided to the companies, and that is cash provided now, and then provided certain things happen, that cash might turn into an equity stake in the company. And that's excellent. So the companies have access to the cash now to enable them to grow to the next level.
Oliver from GetBulb has been strong all the way through. His initial pitch showed pretty clearly the proposition he had for newspapers. Every single person he meets is equally impressed with what he has to offer. It looks like he's also going to be working with MyHome.ie.
I met Gavin from MyHome.ie today. He's been gathering data on how house prices have been changing over time for the past couple of years. So it was really interesting to hear that he had this visualisation challenge that GetBulb might be able to help him with. We should be able to present the data that he has in a visual way that will be useful for his customers to look at how houses have been changing in price.
I'm going to go away now and add support to the price changes. On MyHome we're going to give him a feed of real-time price change data, and we'll see what he can come up with.
Brian Caulfield is one of the partners in DFJ Espirit. He's been back in the Irish Times Digital Challenge as well with a prize of €50,000 for the winning company of the 5 companies who've entered.
It'd probably be useful in terms of talking about the challenges that you're likely to experience dealing with large organisations. The Irish Times is, roughly 160 years old. The very same traits that make organisations successful in that respect also mean that organisations become quite rigid. They become inflexible. That's exactly what creates the opportunity for entrepreneurs and for startups. And indeed, in the Irish Times, you have layered on that another set of challenges which are created by the daily cycle of a newspaper. So DFJ is obviously hoping to get an interesting investment opportunity at the end of this competition. And I think what we're seeing is that there's a number of interesting contenders in there to win our 50k prize. The perfect scenario for us, of course, is that we get a company that we can go on to invest significantly more capital in. I mean, ideally we'd like to get a company here that we can put 2 to 5 million euros to work in over a period of time and build a real Irish winner from that business. For us as an organisation, what we're looking for is smart entrepreneurs with disruptive ideas in markets that are going through very, very rapid change.
And one of the things that Rob Murphy has been able to do is, starting from a very small, modest base, to build up a community of readers who spend quite a long time on his site but keep coming back for more. First, he has a viable online community. Second, he's running a roadshow of physical events around those communities. And third, he has a network of contacts in local radio across Ireland. All told, he reckons that means he can get a listenership, which is interesting for an online community, of over about 100,000.
yeah, I suppose going on the roadshow is fun for me because you get to meet people. I love presenting broadcasts and radio shows like that. But also what we're trying to do is something that hasn't been done before. So you're getting experts in the field of amateur rugby and club rugby who really know their content and discussing it and having a debate about it. I think there's so much novelty to that. I think getting out and doing these roadshows, I'm just going to enjoy them immensely anyways. But as well as that, it really will help us demonstrate how strong our community is. We're not just an online community, we're a community of rugby people who love the grassroots of rugby, who love community rugby. No brand partners yet, so we meet with advertising this week. They have been discussing in the background with a couple of companies just loosely, but yeah, it'll just be laying that out. We'll also discuss the possibility of advertising add-ons on the site, so basically the Irish Times having a couple of sections on the site where they can sell adverts themselves and give us a cut of it.
So, Frida McEnroe from iFly over the last week has been connecting with The Gloss. The Gloss is a kind of a premium fashion magazine which is 50% owned by the Irish Times Group. And Frida's going to be launching something with them, it seems, in September. How do you feel things are progressing, and do you think you're going to be a strong contender for the 50k convertible loan out at the end?
Well, the way I'm looking at it is there are a number of criteria that's going to be awarded on. One is the revenue potential to the Irish Times. One is the reader engagement or the improvement to the reader experience. And I suppose the final one would be the overall scalability and investment potential in the product. And they're the three factors I'm trying to hit.
One of the trickiest problems was always going to be whether Martin from Storyflow was going to be able to solve that problem of visually presenting the next related story link. Martin is away at the moment. He's been away for the last week, and it may be that when he comes back he has solved this problem, or it may be that the product hasn't moved at all.